Today we're going to be talking about ways to form meaningful business relationships and about 5 tips on how you could do that too. We often see other people form great, meaningful business relationships, but sometimes we struggle forming the same ones for ourselves. I often get asked, Junior, what are some good ways for me to network or level up my circle? So I wanted to create this video today to go over exactly that. I wanted to share with you guys my 5 quick tips on how you can make meaningful business relationships and keep them. So if it sounds like something you're interested in, let's get to work. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. As you know, this is the safest place to learn and discuss life as an entrepreneur, a business owner, and most importantly, how to brand yourself around you and your experience. My name is Junior, and today we're gonna be discussing some tips on how to form meaningful business relationships. So let's jump right in. My first and probably the most underrated tip of my 5 is reputation. Focusing on your reputation early on in life is the key to building long-lasting business connections and relationships as you move on. Now, with that said, it's important to understand that the reputation is really what other people think about you, not necessarily what you think about yourself or even reality. It's important for people to understand that when you're forming business relationships, it matters what somebody else thinks. I know in the real world, right, when we're talking with friends or family, having the self-confidence is really all that matters, but unfortunately in business, understanding what other people think about you is going to be your key into forming those long-lasting relationships. So the sooner you understand that and you tweak whatever you need to do when it comes to your personality or when it comes to how you're being interpreted, the sooner you start doing that the right way, in line with what you want to do, the better. Believe it or not, we actually start forming a reputation as children. Oftentimes when we graduate high school, for sure college, and we're looking for new opportunities, sometimes we refer back to old friends and family members and maybe even their parents for the first referral, opportunity, or even reference. So those guys definitely look at your reputation as a high schooler, as an elementary schooler, and see how you performed and see how reliable and consistent you were when giving you that referral. So understand that working on your reputation and taking it seriously as soon as possible in your life can actually pay dividends as you move forward in your business career. So to give you an example, when I was in college, my reputation in the eyes of my best friend's father actually landed us the cash that we needed to flip our very first property. Without laying the groundwork for consistency, setting proper expectations, I never would have gotten the capital I needed to start my real estate career. So again, understand that business relationships are formed on reputation, and reputations in business is what other people think about you, not necessarily what you think about yourself. So keep that in mind and use it to your advantage. Now that we understand the importance of your reputation, where do we find these great, successful business contacts? That brings us to tip number 2, which is location. Understanding where successful people hang out, where they go, and what they like to do is so important, and not enough people pay attention to it. There's a lot of good people out there that are looking to make good contacts, and it's more than just going to a network event that you see in an email blast. Understanding where successful people like to hang out, where they like to relax and enjoy themselves is absolutely the important part of building successful relationships. In my experience, there are 3 main places to find and form successful, long-lasting business relationships. But number 1 technically isn't a place at all. And that happens to be the referral, or I like to think of it as a warm lead. Using social media as the tool and method to ask maybe a friend to introduce you to the person of interest is always better than going to them direct, even if you can. This allows you to not only leverage your reputation, but the reputation of the friend that's making the introduction. And in this game, the more social proof you have and the more reputations, the good ones that you could leverage, the better and more impactful your business relationship is going to be. So for location number 2, we have the casual setting. Now this is way better than a cold email or a stuffy office meeting. If you're looking to make that great business connection, Finding them at a ball game, at a bar or a restaurant, maybe even on vacation, typically allows your subject to have their guard down. And when their guard is down, that means they're not in a rush. And if they're not in a rush, they're paying attention to you more and your personality, meaning the bigger impact you could make and the bigger impression you could make on that business contact. So the third best place to make incredible business contacts, again, not a place, is technically through our children. Anyone with school-age children can understand that parents often become friends with the parents of their kids' friends. You're going to birthday parties, you're doing carpool, soccer games on the weekend, so you spend a lot of time in a casual, non-business setting with other successful businessmen. Using this as an opportunity and using maybe your children's school and your children's relationships to leverage your long-term business relationships is the third and final great place to make and find business contacts. Now, tip number 3 may seem obvious, but it's simply likability. Successful people only keep people they like and enjoy being around. That's why likability is our successful tip number 3 to make and find meaningful business relationships. In my experience, the people I've found to be best at being likable are the people that can stay authentic and true to themselves, but finding common ground with someone else quickly. Finding things in common with someone in life is extremely valuable, but probably the most important thing in business. From liking the same sports team, going to the same college or school, living in the same neighborhood, or even dressing alike are all things that are subliminally keys to being likable. Being positive is never a bad idea. Now, we've always been around those people that are complaining and nagging all the time. I'm sure we could think of some right now, and the last thing you want to do is be around those people for too long. On the other hand, the people that are positive, overly positive, and motivating are so enjoyable to be around regardless of the mood you're in or if you know them or not. So it's important to be positive and be that guy, especially around the new business contact that you want to form that relationship with. Now, don't just talk about business. This tip can be a little tricky because if talking about business is what you're using to find common ground with your subject, then go for it. But in most cases, if you're trying to build that casual relationship with the person you want to form a business relationship with, talking about business in a casual setting can absolutely backfire. If you're at a restaurant or on vacation and clearly the person is trying to relax and not talk about business, talking about business can absolutely be the wrong thing to do. So keep that in mind when trying to be likable. Tip number 4 is setting expectations. Laying the groundwork for any professional or personal relationship for that matter is setting appropriate expectations. One of the easiest things to do to not only build trust and reputation is setting expectations that you know you can exceed and over-deliver on. Simply saying you'll be at a meeting at 9 o'clock and showing up at 8:50 is exceeding expectations. Telling a colleague or a friend or a contact that you may be unable to make it to that special event, but finding a way to get there is exceeding expectations. But my favorite example of them all is simply being humble and saving the best news for last as a way to exceed expectations. Making someone feel like you'll never let them down gives them a sense that you have nothing to hide. It helps build to your reputation, your likability, and so on. This is super important when raising capital from new people that are maybe investors or lenders. And that leads us to our final tip, which is simply being reliable. Now, tips 4 and 5, which is setting proper expectations and being reliable, can often be construed as the same thing, but they do have their subtle differences. The main difference is when it comes to reliability, it's actually when your business contact asks something of you. And that's what makes this the most important step of them all. When you can have your coveted business contact rely on you from anything like a referral, support, investment, you've reached the final phase. Bringing that kind of value to your business contact on a consistent basis not only makes you feel great, but it makes them feel great. Now, let's say your ideal business contact is in real estate. Going to a grand opening, groundbreaking, or even an open house can add value. If your business contact is a restaurateur, going to their restaurant and paying full price can add value. Even if your contact is simply a businessman or woman hiring their business to do a service for you and your family can be adding value. Now, if you do this over and over again without ever asking for anything in return, you've officially made a great business contact for life. For a quick bonus tip, it's important to keep in mind that not all relationships are great ones, and oftentimes the same respect isn't always reciprocated. My advice is to not fall into the burning a bridge trap. I've been lied to, screwed over so many times in business, and one of the hardest things for me not to do is call them out on it. But I guarantee you it's the right thing to do. I found that reacting can backfire big time, and we all know there's nothing greater than that contact that burned you coming to crawl back and ask you for your business or support down the road. There's nothing better. My advice is to stay calm and understand that it's simply par for the course. This is business. So to recap, our 5 tips to form and keep great business relationships is number 1, reputation. Start early and keep in mind that what they think of you matters more than what you think of yourself, only in business. Number 2, location. Go where they go and hang out where they hang out. Number 3, be likable. Find things in common fast. Number 4, set expectations. Give yourself an opportunity to over-deliver. Number 5, be reliable. Always. And for our bonus tip, don't ever burn a bridge. These are some of the tips that I've personally used to build some of the most incredible business, long-lasting relationships in my career, and I hope they serve you well. This video was so important to me. I really wish you guys found some value and can go ahead and give me a like. If you have any more questions or want to learn more, go ahead and comment below and engage with me. I post to this channel every single week, so hit that notification bell and subscribe to the channel. As always, guys, if you give advice, charge a price. Until next time, guys, peace.